Good day, Rusk enjoyers. Hope you're right, because it's time for the 48-hour analysis. Basically, in this video, I'm going to look at all the skins of the current Rust Store, make comparisons to previous Rust Store skins, to get a good idea in regards to, well, how much are each of these skins likely going to sell by next Thursday, and then knowing that, well then question, are these skins still holding up to being perfectly fine investments, or are there any potential problems that you need to be aware of? So sit back, relax, and start yapping. So, first 23 hours, I was so busy listing as much as I could on the Steam market, I neglected to keep track of the first 24 hours of sales. However, in my predictions video, which this screenshot is from, I was looking at the skins 23 hours in. Now, considering I realised my mistake 27 hours in, I thought it was better off to just take this and maybe add about 200 or 300 extra subscribers. So, all right, fair enough. We'll work with that. So I do apologise in that regard. This right here is the first Rust Store for all of 2026, the January Foresight Rust Store. Now, in the past, we've seen ridiculous sales, but for the past 2 years now, it's been a lot more tamer. Now, of course, we do have some interesting sales going on over to here with the two doors, but if you watch my predictions video, you probably would have noticed I actually talked about these last. I don't feel that confident with these, and we'll explain in a bit, don't you worry. But overall, it's not looking too crazy. And that's perfectly fine. In the long term, in the grand scheme of things, if these skins do work out quite nicely in the future, and if demand does increase, or if they've only sold so much, all the better for them to rise in price ever so nice in the future. So, all right, cool. First 23 hours of sales, not looking too crazy. We're fine with that. But wow, look at the difference. 14,500 subscribers here, only 3,192 subscribers here. But then again, I'm kind of not surprised in regards to beds. How many beds have we seen in like 2 or 3 months' time? Perhaps far too many. So, all right, cool. Let's now go ahead and look at the first 48 hours of sales. So let's just quickly confirm. We're a bit past, like it's, 48 hours and 20 minutes? Shut up. Right, anyway, so, yep, there you go. A little bit more up to date now. In regards to what I'm seeing here, yep, these two look like they're going to probably reach up to 30,000 subscribers. That's a rough estimate, but we'll explain in a bit. But then over down to here, a few skins that look like they probably will be selling less than 10,000. That's quite a big surprise. Now, I'm not joking in regards to a lot of people have seen this Rust Store. A lot of people very likely would have considered buying these skins. But let's be real here. I've seen your opinions. Quite a lot of people weren't exactly too thrilled with, the Rust Store. It's not the worst Rust Store we've ever seen, but we probably could have seen some other interesting things, perhaps. And I should point out, we're still expecting potentially to see some brand new combat knives. That is supposed to be the focused item of the month. Now, it's not like every single combat knife has combat knife in the name, but yeah, we don't actually have that many of them in circulation, so it's definitely something to look forward to. Here, this will be better to do. Keep an eye out, especially over the course of this weekend. We should be seeing a lot more being produced, and we should be expecting some to be accepted soon enough. So, all right, next week we'll see how that turns out. But for now, let's focus this and figure out how much each of these are likely to sell by next Thursday. So, Space Station Garage Door. Spaceman, I wanna go to Spaceland. Right, so 21,000 subscribers. Pretty interesting. But by default, let's also just remind ourselves how many garage doors were accepted in 2025. 39. What? Yeah, that's an absolutely ridiculous amount. The highest we have ever seen. Now, if you are fully well aware, over the past few years, we just keep seeing a record-breaking amount of garage doors being accepted year after year after year. So 2022 is 27, scroll. Then it was 28 in 2023. And then in 2024, it was 34. And then 2025, 39. Now, considering we're expecting brand new skinnables, focused items of the month, perhaps we'll see less garage doors this year. We shall see. But based on what I'm looking at with this, hey, it does line up very nicely with the brand new Space Station building skin. But is the Space Station building skin actually popular? Also, do you reckon we might see another Space Station theme skin being accepted? I'm not expecting that next week, but I am expecting like other items to get Space Station theme skins, Spaceman theme skins, spacesuit and whatnot. You get the idea. I just can't help but assume, number one, a lot of people at first glance assumed that window there had transparency. It does not. It does not have transparency. Quite a few people were assuming it, but I can confirm it's opaque. You can't see through it. If anything, it's a little bit reflective. But number two, I'm questioning it a lot. I don't think it's going to retain that $2.49 price. I can't help but assume we'll see a lot of garage doors this year, not just in Rust stores. Twitch drops, kick drops, you know it. So looking at this, questioning it, not sure if that's going to be a-okay. And now, let's just confirm, what's the best thing we could compare to? Well, if we go quite a fair bit back, Neon Storage Card Small Box, that had about 14,200 subscribers. Although, looking at this, we should really add a bit more to this. But I think just looking at that small box skin will probably give you a very good idea that maybe that garage door might sell just a little bit too much. So, where are we? Over to here. Ta-da! Oh, wow. That did 31,000 subscribers. Uh-oh. Yeah, it's looking like it might be a little bit too much. So, with a whole lot more garage doors to be expected this year, and potentially maybe another space theme skin, will Space Station building skin actually remain being fairly popular? Don't forget, they removed the peaks. They removed the peaks from Space Station building skin. A lot of people are looking forward to that, but now that they've been removed, will people even care? And how often do people actually build high quality metal bases? Now again, depends on what servers you're playing and whatnot. Totally understandable. But the majority of people probably will never actually be able to use it, which might be a bit of a problem. So, alright, it was nice to see you, but I just feel like there's far too many negatives. And of course, with 31,000 subscribers, I don't think the garage door is going to do exactly that amount, but I remember what I originally thought for the Neon Small Cards box. I remember I said 28 to 33,000 subscribers for that 48-hour analysis. Well, for this, I'll do the exact same thing. And could it potentially go up even higher? I kind of wouldn't be surprised. But I get the feeling people probably will be starting to calm down over this and not really care too much. Yeah, I think it'll probably slow down to around 30,000. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm not feeling super confident with that. Feel free to comment your opinions based on that. And now, let's move on and talk about the Space Base Armored Door. So, this is just a little bit behind. Again, another space theme skin. Pretty cool. It also happens to have some transparency. Oh, okay then. We don't have many armored doors with a transparent hatch, sorry. I'm looking at that. Alright, anyway, so, what's the best thing we could compare with this? Well, let's go ahead and find that out, because if we just go back a little bit, I do believe No Mercy Snow Jacket probably is a good shout. 12,700 subscribers here. Well, over to here, this had 12,900. And again, you might want to add a little bit more, but still, let's go back over to here. You'll quickly find out that yes, that also did very similar sales to this. But looking over to here now, looking at the current position of this, especially with comparing to this, I do believe this will sell less compared to that. I don't think it's going to dramatically catch up with it or anything. But I think that Armored Door is going to probably do between 25 to 30,000 subscribers. Now, if you were to just kind of remind yourselves, okay, what Armored Doors in the past have we seen with transparency and a glow-in-the-dark design? I do remember Bombshell Armored Door, and of course, Brutalist Armored Door. So this right here, that's only $1.38. There was a bit of an issue in the past with, well, basically, there was a summer Steam market issue back in 2023, which led to this getting dumped on the Steam market, and it never really recovered from that. Aside from that, it's still very useful, still very helpful. And then over to here, the Brutalist Door collection, I'm sure you're fully well aware, it's doing very well for itself. Oh yes. Quite pricey, not too many people can approach that one. But what we have here is a nice, sleek, awesome, perfectly fine looking design that glows in the dark very nicely. I could see that actually working out quite alright in the future, but that might take a while. And also, we do question how many armored doors we're going to see being accepted in 2026. Like, all of a sudden, towards the very end of 2025, it's as if Facepunch remembered, oh yeah, I remember now, we have armored doors, let's start accepting skins for them. So, within like a month or so, suddenly we've seen 4 being added to Rust. Are we going to end up like 2024 and 2023, where we see a lot of them? Or is it going to go back to being like 2025? What do you reckon? If we see a scarcity of acceptances, I think that actually might work out quite alright. But if we end up like 2024, okay, I might question that. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, in regards to 25 to 30,000 subscribers, I think that's fine. Again, a certain amount of skins in the first Rust for the year, honestly, that's to be expected. Do you remember for the Force Wipe January 2025 Rust we had the Mystic Tree Garage Door that did almost 37,000 subscribers, which also just so happens to be one of the candidates for the Rust Skin of the Year for 2025. I'm just saying. So we're not surprised by such high sales. Just want to quickly remind you of that. Right then, so Hellcore AK-47. I'm looking at you. I've already talked about this in the Rust rotation video and more specifically in the predictions video. If you're to take a look at all the AK-47 skins right now, considering it's post-Christmas, look at all of them based on price. Because by default, with that listed at $3.49 in Rust Store, it's the 10th highest price skin out of all of Rust. That really kind of sets the tone, doesn't it? So we got like 300 AK-47 skins in total. Yep. That is already the 10th highest at just $3.49. Okay, well anyway, we've got the point across. But let's also just point out Black Diamond AK-47, Ninja AK-47, Black Ops AK-47, Commando AK-47, yep. All of these are black designs from blackout alternative options, and well, they're all doing very good. Now, some of them are doing better compared to others, true, but in terms of overall price, they are doing very nicely at the moment. And so, priced at $3.49, will this actually work out all right, or will there be problems? I do remember El Diablo AK-47 coming out in early 2024. As you'll see over here, it went down in price pretty quickly. But for some strange reason, as of recent, it's getting manipulated. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a manipulation. I'm sure you can see that for yourselves. But look over here, it just goes down and it is forgotten. It's stuck there at about 80 cents for a very long time, but then suddenly, all of a sudden, people care about it. So keep an eye on that. That might be manipulated even higher, or just saying. Anyway, so, Hellcore. I don't think you're going to end up as bad as what this was initially, but I can't help but assume you will be going down in price. And another interesting example would be to look at the Deep Ruby AK-47. It's very convenient. We have two great examples side by side. Anyway, this was a very interesting, unique approach. It's not a black AK-47, true, but it was an interesting, unique design, and it did about 30,000 subscribers, which I don't think this AK-47 is going to do, but just quickly take a look and see. It did go down pretty badly, all right? At one point, only selling for about $1.20 on the Steam market. But because it was unique and interesting, and it stood out compared to all the other designs, it did eventually work out and end up in the positive again, although it did take a year. So don't be surprised with this Hellcore AK-47 that potentially it might not happen until the summertime or post-Christmas 2027. Don't be surprised if it takes a while for it to go back up in the positive again, all right? Anyway, we were comparing. Let's see what we could compare with, because that had about 9,500 subscribers. But I think a great thing to compare to would be the Heatseeker SAP that had 9,700. And then again, considering it was an hour earlier, you could add a little bit more. Seems to line up perfectly with the Heatseeker SAP. So, back over to here, let's go see that Heatseeker SAP, because I can confirm to you, it didn't sell a ridiculous number, did it? No. That did 23,500 subscribers. For a SAP, that's quite a lot. But for an AK-47, that seems about right. And looking at that, and then looking back over to here and looking at its current progress, I honestly think that'll probably do between 20 to 25,000 subscribers. I stand by my point, though. I do believe that will be dropping off initially. I do believe it will drop off to a point, but I kind of wouldn't be surprised if it recovers at a certain point as well. 20 to 25,000 subscribers isn't an absolutely absurd number, but that's still quite a lot, isn't it? Yeah. So keep an eye on it. I think it probably will be a situation where we just stick with a Wilder, but I can see some nice positive things in the future as well. So, all right then, cool, understood. Let's now move on to the next skin. So Deep Ruby Thompson. Currently you're sitting now 12,300 subscribers, but with the first 23 hours of sales. That had 8,200 subscribers. We could probably add an extra 200 to 300 subscribers on that. What are we going to compare to? I think comparing to the Cenotype Electric Large Box is probably a good shout. 8,700 subscribers almost. All right, cool. Let's go over to here. That reached up to 19,800 subscribers. It's actually doing quite all right at the moment. Cool. Right, so almost 20,000 subscribers for this Thompson. We just had an interesting talk about the Deep Ruby AK-47 when we're looking at this, weren't we? And that AK-47, it sold for $3.49, and it did drop. It dropped off, didn't it? Dropped off, went down in price, and it took a very, very, very long time to finally reach back up to its rust or price. I don't think we're going to see the exact same sort of issue at this. But Thompsons in general, take a look at this. Sorry, I clicked the wrong thing there. Well, actually, visualize. Initially, when this first came out, this collection wasn't exactly getting a lot of positive responses. But as you'll see over here, Thompsons aren't exactly doing perfectly fine either. You do have 1, 2, 3, 4. You got a decent, like, at the moment, it looks like pretty 50-50. Some of them work out nicely, some of them not so much. But, you know, we also have that with the actual Deep Ruby collection here from the Thompson. Notably, it's the armour that seems to be struggling more so. And then again, you got like the tools. Tools skins aren't exactly super reliable investments. But look at the SAT. Look at the AK. Look at the crossbow. They're doing good. But again, right now is a good time, quote unquote. So it might take a while for this to actually go up in price quite nicely as well. Don't be surprised if it drops off as well. Priced at $2.49. Well, if you're going to probably reach up to about 20,000 subscribers, and with you currently sitting here at 12,300, I think I'm going to suggest 18,000 to 21,000 subscribers. Now, if I just go to look over here and look at all Thompson skins based on subscriber counts. If this were to reach up to about 20,000 subscribers, honestly, I don't really imagine it would be too crazy, but it kind of would be near the top like 15 overall. Yeah, right. That would be quite a lot then. Wow. But then again, look at all these Thompsons here and you notice a lot of them are doing very nicely. So I'm looking at you with a bit of optimism, but it's definitely going to be a barter situation. So, all right, 18 to 21,000 subscribers. Thunder Gold MP5. Now, when I first looked at that, I thought, all right, another white MP5 has been accepted. That probably will prove to be quite nice for it. Now, let's just quickly remind all of you, take a quick look at all the MP5s based on price, and you'll notice quite a lot of the white ones are doing pretty good. Digital Camo is an old skin, so we can't really count that one, but I just want to bring it up. You'll see here, Comics MP5, that's currently selling for just about $5. No Mercy MP5, just about $5. Quarantine, it's white and black, but it's still doing very nice. Arctic Skull's also doing very nice. And then over to here, at $2.49, Thunder Gold MP5. But also, let's just quickly point out, we also happen to have H-June's MP5, Recoy's MP5, and of course Sikuno's MP5. The special streamer skins that, well, if you missed out on them, it's too late. Those special streamer skins also had transparency. Thunder Gold MP5 just has a standard aim sight. But then again, Thunder Gold Collection. Oh, okay, well, look at that. A custom SMG that's only slightly below its rust price. That is an incredibly rare sight to see. A double barrel shotgun that's only down by 13%. Again, they're down in price, but if you look at a standard custom SMG skin, a standard double barrel shotgun skin, you'll realise these are actually doing quite alright. And then everything else, yep, that's looking pretty. So yes, Thunder Gold does appear to be somewhat in demand, but it definitely flourishes when times are good. It's not like during the year, it's always in the positive. We've had some ups and downs and whatnot in the past, so blah, 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 blah. Let's get to the point. What are we going to compare to? Well, I thought, you know what? With this here at 6,600 subscribers, but then again, maybe add a bit, I thought we could probably go ahead and compare to the Neon Berries fridge. Let's go do just that. Neon Berries fridge was accepted in the Rust Store just before the Christmas Rust Stores, and that ended up with 14,894 subscribers. It's almost doubled in price. Wow. So, all right, cool. That's nice to see. So, with you currently sitting here at 9,700 subscribers, and just to go over to here, let's just be 100% more accurate. All right, it's almost 9,800. I think the MP5 is going to do between 14 to 16,000 subscribers. Is that too much? Not sure. I think it's probably just about right. Not too ridiculous with its overall sales. Again, let's look at like the AK. That did only 13,000 subscribers. Double Barrel only did 9,600. Recently, we've got the Handmade LMG that only did about 9,900. The SAP did 16,000. Maybe the SAP might be the best thing to compare to, because for quite some time, This wasn't exactly doing super great. It's only just about gone back up into the positive. So right now this is sitting at just over $2.50. And yeah, in the summer, it was doing good. Auto 4 seasonal dip, uh-oh. But then again, it's risen back up again. It's hoping it keeps rising as we go through January time. But yeah, no. It did suffer during the bear times. But that's pretty much every single Ruskin hedge. I know. I keep bringing it up like so. So anyway, back over to the store. It's looking interesting. The collection is appreciated. I think we could see some interesting things with that. Will it still drop below its rust or price during certain points? Yeah, but I don't think it'll be down dramatically bad. If you take a quick look at all the MP5s that have been accepted recently, you'll probably notice, okay, yeah, ooh, down 55, down 39. But then you also have up 4, up 12, but the majority of them are down, which is not looking very pretty. But then again, with this one, I do believe that'll be the one that'll be at evens or in the positive. I do believe that'll be working out quite all right. So, all right, cool. Tempered handmade LMG. Right. We've been getting quite a lot of handmade LMGs recently, haven't we? Yep. With you, 5,800-ish, 9,000, about 6,000 subscribers. What are we going to compare to? You know what? I did mention it just a second ago. That Abyss MP5 looked pretty interesting. Yep. Fairly similar numbers. Right, look at, let's go ahead and look at that again. So let's go over to here. Yeah, they are, yep. Just over 14,000 subscribers. See, over to here now, it says it's below its rust or price. Getting mixed responses. Right, anyway, so back over to here. Right, so yeah, it matched up quite nicely. Not too bad. So let's just quickly showcase that we saw a handmade LMG here, and of course here. And then in that rust store, did we also see one here? No. But with the recent Christmas rust stores, yes, we did. So suddenly we're starting to see a lot of them. That's starting to build up into a bit of concern. And then over to here. Yep. Let's go to this current rust store. If you're sitting there with 8,700 subscribers at the moment, I think the handmade LMG is going to probably do between 13 to 15,000 subscribers. Now, quickly comparing to all the other skins. Well, 3 drops already. Blackout handmade LMG is actually improving quite nicely. That's nice to see. The first 2 skins, perhaps they sold a little bit too much. And again, standard, normal site handmade LMGs, we've been kind of questioning that. And we don't think that's probably going to be a good thing. Basically, Blackout handmade LMG, Elven made handmade LMG, Christmas Candy handmade LMG. These 3 have a transparent aim sight, but all the other skins, they do not, including tempered handmade LMG. We're kind of expecting this year we're going to probably see a lot more handmade LMGs with transparent aim sights, twitch drops, kick drops. You get the idea. That might be a bit of a concern. If we do see a lot more of them this year, okay, I would not be surprised if the tempered handmade LMG drops off, along with the other skins here. And to be honest with you, even the Christmas skins, perhaps even Blackout, although the Blackout skin's a Blackout skin, people really do appreciate the Blackout skins. Anyway, so yeah, I'm questioning that, not feeling that confident. But people do appreciate the tempered collection. But if you look at all the skins, it's not as secure as you might think. So we'll see how it all goes. But yeah, even with only 13 to 15,000 subscribers, still kind of questioning it a bit. It's a matter of, well, let's see how many handmade LMGs are submitted over the course of this weekend. And well, I guess we probably shouldn't be so surprised if we see them being accepted next week. We'll see. All right, other than that, let's move on. Night Demon, Bandana, Poncho, and Tactical Gloves. But I should acknowledge the Poncho does have quite a bit less sales compared to the Bandana, but I do have to pair them up with each other. So, cool, understood. Right then, what are we going to compare to? So let's switch back over to here. As you'll see, they all have about, well, these 2 have about 5,000 subscribers. This has about 4,300. So there is a bit of a gap. I reckon we want to compare to Training Snow Jacket and maybe even the Porcelain Sheet Metal Double Door. You could even probably look at the Dominus Mortis Double Barrel Shotgun. All right, cool. So let's go over to here and take a look. So, giving that rust store a good look, you'll see that this has about just under 11,000 subscribers. This is pushing up to 14,000 subscribers. Let's just switch back over to here. So you got about 7,400, 7,200, and 6,200. To be honest with you, I reckon I reckon these three pieces are likely to do between 11 to 13,000 subscribers. That feels like a perfectly fine suggestion. Although I won't be surprised if the poncho sells a bit less. So we'll see how that all turns out. But that bandana and poncho seem to be lining up perfectly with the pre-existing skins. Although the pre-existing skins are, core pieces. Tier 3, Tier 2, hoodie and pants. Boots and gloves. All right, well, keep an eye on all of that. Could we potentially see Night Demon burlap or hide clothing being made next over the course of this weekend? I've got to keep an eye out. If that does happen, like I said, I would imagine that you'd see that spike and price ever so nice. Don't you agree? Yes. So I said that a lot in the predictions video and the rust rotation video. So keep an eye out. It's a solid collection. Every single skin that's been submitted for it has been accepted. That is why we care. Right then. Phantom tactical gloves. I just went for a whole yapping session talking about HMLMGs and the possibility of seeing a whole lot more of them. I mean, don't get me started about beds, but we will be talking about that. A brand new skinnable gets a brand new skin. I just can't help to assume tactical gloves are going to be a common sight. I just can't help to assume we're going to see Twitch drops, kick drops, and a lot of market acceptances. Are they going to be as common as roadside gloves? If that's the case, does that mean roadside gloves are going to become a lot less common? Oh, that might be pretty interesting to consider. And by all means, off your opinion based on what we just thought of there. But Phantom tactical gloves, I've got to be honest with you, you're not selling too ridiculously, which is fine. Your collection's fairly ancient, considering it first started back in 2017. The recent skins, so let's just go over to here, it kind of showcases it a bit better. There we go, yep. If you look at the recent skins, Phantom M39, you're doing quite alright now. You had a transparent aim sight, didn't you? The boots, the tier 3, the backpack, I mean, these aren't exactly doing super great. Backpack was kind of alright though. It doesn't help that the tier 2 and the hoodie and pants came out years ago and sold a lot less. You're selling closer to the numbers these did compared to what we see here, I guess you could say. But then again, the boots only did 9,500. I guess they're just not appreciated. Perhaps people don't appreciate the Phantom collection enough. So I'm a little bit not confident, not sure what's going on here. Questioning it a lot. Yes, I am. If I don't feel super confident, just stick with a low bar order, right? And again, if we do suddenly see a lot more tactical glove skins being produced, that might be a bit of a concern. And I'll just bring this up again. Basically, over the course of this past weekend, I did see some interesting looking space-themed tactical gloves, which I kind of wouldn't be surprised if they were to be accepted in the next Rust store. Considering we only got 2 door skins in relation to the space station skin, kind of wouldn't surprise me to get like some astronaut designs. So, yep, that might be pretty cool. Right then, so more options on the way potentially could lead to that getting lost in the shuffle and losing its value. So, all right, cool, understood. Abyss tools. So, initially, as you'll see over here, these only did about 4,000 subscribers. You could tack on an extra 200-300 subscribers. We get the idea. If I had to compare to anything, I think comparing to the, what was it? The Dungeon Small Box. There you go. Dungeon Small Box, about 4,000 subscribers. You could even potentially look at the Pirate Bed, 4,200. So, all right, let's go ahead and take a look at those. So looking at the store, you'll see that the small box did about 9,700 subscribers and the bed also 9,700 subscribers. We look back over to here. We look at the tools. I'll be honest with you. At the current rate of sales, we could probably sit there and say they're going to do between 9 to 11,000 subscribers. Now, tools. Oh dear, here we go. That doesn't look like it's pretty stable, is it? No. The majority of tools will go down to around $1, basically. That's to be expected. Most of these hatchets here, they go down to around $1, and in a second you'll see the same thing with the pickaxes. Your question wasteland hatchet, I will confirm to you that's being manipulated. Don't trust what you see there. So, alright, yeah, down 52, down 52, down 50, you get the idea. Now, if I had to take a look at the pickaxes, pretty much the exact same thing. People do not appear to appreciate tool skins whatsoever. So, yeah. If both of these are priced at $2.49, but then again, also questioning the Abyss collection, which is actually doing very nicely at the moment, I'm not sure how to approach this. I can't help but assume that maybe these tools, which don't glow in the dark, just to remind you, and again, watch my rust rotation video to see that for yourself, I just can't help but assume that maybe these ones might actually work out quite all right. People do happen to appreciate the tools here, so all right. Well, people do happen to appreciate abyss weapons. That should be clarifying. Sorry, I clicked the wrong thing there. You're not doing very well for yourself here, Hedge. You know, kind of brain farted there for a second. Anyway, these are looking interesting, but don't be surprised they drop down in price. And I should point out, these tools, this Thompson, surprise late acceptances. They were originally submitted back 10 months ago. So, all right, cool. Maybe we'll see that again in the next rust store. We shall see. Wild Hunt bed. Initially, this had nothing. And I'm not surprised because we have seen a ridiculous amount of bed skins being accepted recently. Yes, indeed. And it's kind of building up to being a bit of a concern. Basically, since October, I believe we've seen 22 skins in total, and that is pretty ridiculous. October, November, December. So you're telling me, I'm thinking, how many? That's got to be about like 12 to 14 rust stores, yeah? And we somehow got 22 bed skins out of that, or what? It's getting a little bit too absurd. Honestly, best thing I could compare to would be the, yes, where is it? I'm looking for a certain crossbow. I can't seem to, there it is, crossbow, 3,000 subscribers. I'm starting to think, if we see an absolutely absurd amount of bed skins now, they're all probably going to start selling like next to nothing. And then we also question, are they even going to hold up their value? So it could sell hardly anything, but it's also getting concerning because, yeah, we just keep seeing them being accepted over and over and over and over and over again. I also want to point out the recent Christmas skins only did like 7,000 subscribers each. Then you got like the beds here. Like it's been slowly going down more and more and more because initially, oh wow, brand new skinnable, amazing. People were frothing at the mouth for something new. They bought tons of these skins, and then as time has gone on, people are starting to question, do I honestly need another bed skin? So, yeah, it very likely could help this out, though. Work in its favour. By that I mean, considering we've seen quite a lot of interesting Wild Hunt skins being submitted recently, which I can show you over to here, if we do see the collection continuations, that bed skin very likely might be spiking them in price ever so nice. Considering we have a garage door here. Considering we just recently saw the small box. So, yeah. Still hoping for that bearskin rug. Anyway, a lack of sales can easily lead to it rising up in price ever so nicely and easily if we were to see it, you know, spike in demand. And how might that happen? Well, we'll probably want to see a nice, interesting collection continuation. Yeah, that might help it out. So, yep, looking pretty interesting. Keep an eye on it. But yes, just to quickly confirm, we compared to the crossbow, and that only did around, let's see here, 7,600 subscribers. I believe this is only going to do between 7,000 to 8,000 subscribers, which really isn't that much. And that's the reason why I brought up the Christmas beds as well. Those Christmas beds from the past 2 weeks, they're actually looking to be pretty sweet because we don't have any other Christmas themed beds. And in the lead up to Christmas next year, oh, it's looking pretty interesting. Right. So overall, it does seem quite tame. Next week, who wants to see some tier 3 armor, some tier 2 armor, some hoodie and pants? Well, stop wishing because you're not allowed to be happy. Ha ha ha. Anyway, let's just quickly take a look at the workshop. And we might have noticed some interesting looking skins have been submitted. Ultramarine tactical gloves. Are we surprised? Well, no, not really. We kind of mentioned that just a second ago. Anyway, antique collection with a Thompson, looking pretty cool. So, all right. Keep an eye out for the Rust Workshop skin checks for next week. Some interesting skins have already appeared. But let's just quickly remind all of you, in the recent batch of skins that were submitted, not a single skin was accepted. No early picks appeared for this current Rust store that we have. So I can't help but assume quite a lot of the interesting skins we see here very likely might be appearing in the next Rust store. So consider giving that a good watch. And of course, consider taking a look at my recent video showcasing all those skins, which of course was the Rust Workshop Skin Checks video right here. So, yep, all the collection continuations are chaptered. You know how it is. Right, so let's now quickly talk about, post-Christmas. So, of course, I uploaded this video today. I was just talking about how things were as of, what, 22 hours ago? Yeah. Oh, I've got some messages as well. I had to take a look at them in a bit. But yes, I talk about how it's been pretty fun and pretty easy to get some skins sales in and whatnot. So let's switch back over to here. Let's take a look over to here. Have we sold some more as I've been talking? Yes, just a little bit. But then again, I kind of refreshed literally just before I started recording. As I get towards the very end of like reaching my max money, which is 1,700 funds, you can only list so much. And some of these skins here, they're not really like selling as quickly, it seems, which is a bit of a bother, but hey, it is what it is. Over to here as well, just like to confirm this account has been selling very nicely as well. And considering that it's fairly low in terms of its current funds, I can list a whole lot more. So yeah, here's hoping those sales do go through. And remember, I'm only selling up to batches of 5, right? I want to ride the wave of momentum. I don't want to crash the momentum. So, all right, cool. Have you been getting some sales in? Make sure you do, because of course, as we get closer and closer to March and April time, inevitably we will have the Easter dip. But then after that, of course, we'll see prices rise up ever so nicely for the summertime, which we've kind of alluded to quite a lot throughout this video, haven't we? So, all right, cool. So it is what it is. Keep an eye on micro522.com as well, just to keep track of all the newer skins if you so wish. And yeah, got to keep an eye on the commits as well. I do believe Face Punch will be back to work as of this Monday. You're going to start seeing a lot more content being mentioned and worked on. I can confirm the player count's starting to drop off now, which is fine. It's late, yeah. So, looks like we can confirm the peak player count was around 247,000 for January 2026. You might sit there and say, what about next week? I don't think we're going to see as many people turn up next week. But now we also question, how many people could we see a February force wipe with the brand new naval update? That might be something to look forward to. And here's hoping the momentum of all the prices going up and whatnot, let's hope it sticks around till February as well. That would be nice to see. So, that's it. That's a wrap. Thank you very much for watching me. I greatly appreciate it. Don't forget, all estimates for the current skins in the Rush store, they will be linked, or rather, they'll be listed in the description with the chapters. You can see all the numbers there in case you forget. That's it. That's a wrap. Thank you very much for watching me. I greatly appreciate it. Best luck to all of you. Have a lovely evening. Goodbye.